Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to path number B of the Act 8 Crucible normal difficulty. Now this time around we are going to tackle all the 16 bosses of Act 8.2. This is going to be your 15 bosses, your regular ones from 8.2.1 to 8.2.5, and then is going to be Bahamet, the big baddie at the end of it. So let's jump right into it. So if you haven't checked out my video on my legendary run, I would suggest you to check that out. And also there is an Excel planner linked on it. I will also leave it in the description of this video, so please check it out. Also, I'm taking your feedback from the legendary video and I'm making changes as I go on the counters. There were a lot of counters I gave. It was kind of a risk I took on that video. I was like, you know what, let me give as many counters as possible. But when you do the fight and I get your feedback, that really helps. So I think around 10% of the counters I gave were not right, so I'm fixing them as we go, so forgive me guys. Anyway, jumping back to path number 2, the first fight is going to be vision. With the nodes are going to be power armor, stalwart shield, tunnel vision, and cold turkey. So you cannot use the same basic attack twice in a row, otherwise you are going to miss. So if you're bringing in somebody like with a who can bypass miss, that can help you, or you can bring in anti-robotic champions. All of them will work out. I brought in a Deathless Thanos. Now ideally he should work really well here once you apply those armor break and armor shatter on vision, but that didn't help out, so I had to play it really slow, and I think this was my longest fight in the whole path, the first one, but I was like, you know what, let me just get it done. So yeah, I've given you some of the counters on the side, you can check them out. Some other good ones that can work out are going to be your anti-miss champions, your spiral can work, your prowler can work. Now vision is also a metal champions. If you need a much easier time, you can just bring in a Magneto, and Magneto can do the job as well. So plenty of different options available. Pick your one and you can jump into it. Now next one is going to be a Scarlet Witch. The nodes are going to be superiority underdog. So if you're using a champion that has classes disadvantage, you get a superiority, and that gives you nullify immunity. And there's also fate seal, out underhanded comment, and return policy. Now the way the fight is designed, it invites you to bring in cosmic champions or champions with buffs, and then you gain the nullify immunity, and that gives you extra damage, and that helps you out finish out this fight. The fight is not really difficult. All you need to do is to take care of the unblockable and make sure that Scarlet Witch is always at 1 bar of power, not 2, because the SP2 can really hurt. And I am using a Spider Woman. She's not only nullify and fate seal immune, she also has her own buff, so she kind of covers everything. I've given you some more options as well. If you're using science champions, just bring in nullify or fate seal immune champions. If you're using cosmics, don't worry, you'll get it once the underhanded, the superiority underdog node comes into play. So don't worry about that. Next up is going to be a Black Panther. This is a very fun and frantic fight. So whenever you will hit him, he's going to apply whiplash charges on you. You can refresh these charges by intercepting the opponent, and you can transfer them on Black Panther by using a special attack knockdown. Now remember, if you don't transfer them, they're going to detonate on you and you're going to take a lot of damage. So the whole thing is to use your basic attacks, play around the unstoppable node, because that is the annoying one there, and then before they detonate on you, you have to transfer them on the opponent, and along with your basic attacks and the detonation, you will do quite a bit of damage to Black Panther. The difficult part of the fight, or the challenge of the fight, is the managing those whiplash charges, but it's a lot of fun once you get used to it. Also, the node for unstoppable is fight or flight. So whenever it's about to get on the cooldown, if you're away from the defender, you are going to get unstoppable. So you can gain unstoppable, and that will make it easy for you to do those intercepts, and you can get through this fight. All in all, it's a very easy, fun fight. Literally, you can use any champion. I've given you quite a bit of class advantage champions, so you can use them, and before you know it, you will have Black Panther down. And boom, let's take him out. That's the last SP1, transferring the remaining whiplash. I'm gonna wait out for him to throw that special attack, and there we go. With basic attacks, I take him out. Now next up is going to be a Domino. Domino is going to be like water. So if you parry her or you apply a non-damaging debuff, she's going to go unblockable. There's also an evasive maneuver, so if you knock her down, she is going to get an evade charge. And there's also dizzy, so her evade abilities are increased 60% extra. But the good part is there is a node light them up. So if you can apply shock on Domino, or if you can apply incinerate on Domino, she will not evade and she will take kind of extra damage. So bring in any of your shock champions, or bring in your, try to get only your tech champions in, because they will not go unlucky and the fight will be way faster to deal with. The best option of course is going to be Shuri. She is going to destroy Domino. Otherwise you can bring in also other tech champions with either incinerate, for example like Ironheart, or either the kind of shocks or Nimrod. So those are the few examples that you can use. And next one up is going to be your Elektra. Now with Elektra, this is all about the miss she's going to apply with the Daunted, and she's going to return that damage. So if you bring in a champion that can counter the miss, you can easily counter the whole fight. So I'm going to bring in Spiral, so I don't have to worry about the falter and the miss with that, and then the remaining fight becomes super easy. Now Elektra will take 90% less damage unless there is an incinerate applied on her. So champions like Ironheart will work super well here because she can apply incinerate and she can also bypass the miss. But again, you don't need to worry about it. There is a node here, got a light. So there's a chance of one of your hits to apply those incinerate, and you can bypass the pleasure to burn node, and that can work out for you. Next up is going to be Deadpool X-Force. Now he is going to have aggressive regen, so if you don't hit him for 2 seconds, he's going to get a regen buff on him. And there's also Reinvigorated Fury. There's Infectious Rat, so if there's a heal block applied on him while he is regening, that will give you Furies. And there is also Confusing Special, so whenever he's going to throw a special attack, he's going to attempt to reverse your controls. So if you bring in reverse control champions that have a lot of debuffs, they are going to work super well here. Jack-o'-lantern is a great option here. I use them in one of my older videos. And then this time around I'm using Ironheart. As long as the armor up is there, Ironheart is immune to reverse controls, and she can also apply those debuffs, and the Indomitable is active, so you can gain a lot of Furies. Same goes with the other champions, tech champions with easy access to heal block, you can use them out. And if there is reverse control immunity as well, that also goes a long way. Now next up is going to be Joe Fixit. Now with Joe Fixit, this fight is all about not getting the weakness debuff on you, because that will activate cramping and you will take damage every time you're going to hit Joe Fixit. Cramping is very similar to electric defense when you have an armor up. On this time around, when you have a weakness, you take extra damage and you lose power. The easiest way to deal with this is to bring in champions that have very easy access to Purify, and you're good to go. So for example, Shield is a great one. You can also use Shang-Chi, you can also use Kingpin, also Jabari Panther. All of these champions that have easy access to Purify will work super well here. Now if you don't have a champion with Purify, just bring in a skilled champion that can deal a lot of damage and bring it down faster. But remember, to deal full damage, you have to bypass the protection. So to do that, you have to knock down Joe Fixit to take 100% damage. Otherwise his damage is 90% reduced. Nick Fury is in the option, yeah, but you can take him down. Just be careful about his mighty charge. When he's going to charge into you, he's going to remove all the debuffs and you cannot parry him, so you will have to use reparry. Next up is going to be a Nimrod, and probably my favorite fight because it's so quick. The nodes are Steady Perseverance, Arcane Zeal, Divine Barrier, and Wax On, Wax Off. So he's gonna do Nimrod things and everything. Just extra thing is going to be here that every now and then there will be a nullify immunity on him. You can see that with the purple icon. So if you're using a champion that is going to bypass that nullify immunity, you have to wait it out, and now you can throw your special attacks and do that damage. Look at that, all of that damage in one SP2. So Longshot is amazing for this fight, so you can use him. If that doesn't work out for you, you can use other Mystic champions as well. All of them work. You can use your Fate Seal champions also. I've given you a bunch of options. All of them work super well. but I think it's much more advisable to bring in champions that have easy access to Nullify, Stagger, or Fate Seal, so you can control all the buffs from Nimrod and you can deal the damage. Now next up is going to be a Ronan. Now usually I did this fight with Hercules last time around, but let me show you a slower version. How do you play it? So every time you attack the opponent, you're going to gain a fury. Once you go above 10 furies, you're going to be a degeneration will be applied on you and you will take damage. And also Ronan will be unblockable if you apply a non-damaging debuff or if you parry him. So that is something you need to be careful about. Now, how do you deal with it? Now, ideally, I would suggest you to bring in champions that have resistance to degen or are degen immune. They will work super well. I haven't given you those counters. I've asked you to bring more of those buff champions, but that's okay. You're going to gain buffs with Rising Sun anyway. So I would suggest you to bring in size champions that are resistant to degen, so you don't have to worry about the degen much and you can take Ronan out. You just have to play a bit around with the furies. For me, as soon as I get to 9 furies, I throw in a heavy attack just to be safe, and slowly you can take out a Ronan. Just be careful, don't get hit by an SP1 because of his sig ability. You're going to be stunned for so long and you're going to take so much damage, it's going to kill you off. Next up is going to be a Scorpion. So the more debuffs he has on you, he will go unblockable, and he also has that evade. So you need an evade counter that also has a shrug off on him. Now usually I would bring in a Elsa Bloodstone here, or I would bring in a Kingpin here, but just for this video I'm bringing in Okoye, and I'm going to show you even if it goes unblockable, it's okay, you can just play around it. Now a nifty trick here is that always keep Scorpion to an SP1, because with SP1 he will only apply 2 calcify debuffs on you, and with 2 calcify debuffs he will not go unblockable. So if you keep him to an SP1 with an evade counter, you should be good. But if you have a champion with shrug off, it's okay, or purify, you can keep pushing him to an SP2, that also works out. So if you have a Shang-Chi, if you have a Jabari Panther, or if you have Shield, by all means push Scorpion to an SP2. That would be okay. Now remember, he is going to be immune to shock, so make sure that you bring in the right champion. Okoye was great for me, was able to take down Scorpion quite easily in the end. Next up, we're going to have a Morningstar. Now I'm going to use a Count Nefaria here. So the first thing you need to know that there is going to be power snack. She is going to gain power whenever you will gain a buff that will be nullified, and also there is Keltrop. So if you are going to dash back with your champion, you're going to get a bleed on you, but if you're immune, that is going to help you out. So you need champions that are immune to bleed. Now another thing you will notice that there is a timer on my side of my health bar, that there is a cold snap timer. Now these cold snap timers, they keep stacking and they don't activate until I block a hit from Morningstar. And once I do block a hit from Morningstars, those will be activated and I have to transfer them to Morningstar after. But for that I need to make sure that I intercept her. Without the intercept, I cannot transfer those charges on Morningstar. So I'm gonna block here, and now I'm gonna just parry with my evade, and that is an assisted intercept, and you will notice all of those cold snap charges are transferred to Morningstar. So if you're not using a cold snap immune champion, the first choice should be to use a cold snap immune champion, so you don't have to worry about all of this. But if you're not using a cold snap immune champion, what you need to do is to let the charges build up and do not block Morningstar. Once you have enough charges you're happy about, block Morningstar, that will activate the charges, and then you can just intercept Morningstar and transfer those charges. So assisted intercept champions work really well. Count Nefaria is also one of them, because on his evade, that's an auto intercept for you. Almost at the end of the video, we are going to go against Masacre. Now Masacre is going to have biohazard, so you need a champion that is going to be immune to bleed at least. You can also use a champion that is immune to bleed and also poison, but the bleed is only enough. There is going to be palette cleanser, so every time he's going to gain power, he's going to get a cleanse charge, so be careful about that. And heavy attacks deal more damage, so I am just bringing in my onslaught because he's just amazing. and Masacre gives you enough openings to use your heavy attack and pause all of those daunted debuffs and everything, and then with one SP2 it should be enough to take out Masacre. Super easy fight, keep him to an SP1 only and you should be good. SP2 can be a bit tricky to evade, but then again you can get through it too. And there you have it. Before we know it, all the degens are up on him, just waiting for him to throw that SP1. All the degens are paused and he's just going to die like that. Another heavy attack to pause the remaining, and kaboom. Onslaught is just amazing for this fight. Now next up is going to be a Peni Parker. Now this is going to be a counter not many people will use, because Gladiator is more dependent on his Incinerate and Peni Parker is his Incinerate immune. So I'm just going to use a Gladiator and try to spam my SP1 once I have enough of those charges. The fight is going to start slow, but the good part is if I hit her in the block, her shield goes away very quick, so auto block chance is less. But even if I get an SP2, then I can also bypass the auto block. So this is going to be a slow fight for me to build up my confidence charges, and then I can go attack Peni Parker. So I'm just slowly building up my charges, dealing damage in between. She's immune to Incinerate, otherwise the fight can be a bit faster. Now that I have my Vigilance active, I don't need to worry about Peni Parker's auto block. I can just go and throw my SP1s and deal all of that damage. But in between, I just have to take care of the SP2s, because they can deal some crazy damage with a lot of hits. So just be wary about that. Just block them out and you're good to go, and you can go in and attack back with your unblockable and deal all of that damage. It would be super easy to remove all of those shields very quick, so the auto block does not come into play. Again, an SP2 just auto block me, so I'm just gonna hit in the block. I'm not taking any damage because Gladiator does not take any power burn or power steal damage, so that is going to work in your favor. And then again, there goes the shield, just hitting in the block now. So Gladiator is a good option, but it will take a bit of time. Some other options that work super well can be Hulkling, can be your best option. Then there's also going to be your Vox, Scream, Venom. All of these champions can work. All of these Cosmic, they have immunity to power drain and power burn against tech champions, so all of them can work. But by far the best option is going to be a Hulkling. So if you have an Hulkling, bring them on. And then is going to be Sersi. Sersi, now she is annoying. A lot of people have come back to me like, how do you fight Sersi with Werewolf by Night and Wiccan? Now with Werewolf by Night, you have to just hit in the block and not let her throw a heavy attack while you build up to an SP2. Now it does take a little longer to take her out, but this is a very safe fight like this. Now if you're using a Wiccan is going to be the same. So you're going to parry her in the beginning and then use your medium light attacks to apply the Fate Seal, and then you dash back and then you hold your block so you can block unblockable hits and specials. Once you have that, you knock him down, and then you can go medium light medium to apply the Incinerate, and then you can just keep up the Fate Seal, and that should be enough for Sersi. But we are using Werewolves by Night, and it's pretty simple. Just keep hitting in the block. Don't worry about the unblockable because you don't need to parry her at all, and you can use that. Just keep building up to your SP2, and look at that, with one SP2 how much damage we were able to deal. So this is going to be the second last fight. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. I have changed up quite a few counters from the first video, the legendary path. Let me know if you've done it or not, if you've done the realm event and they are adding points to it. There is going to be mini Crucible C and D also released next week, so we're going to be back for that also. Don't worry, I will also be back for the normal paths C and D with Sarastes as the boss and also Glychan. So stay tuned to the channel, and thank you for all the amazing support and love you guys have shown over the Crucible content, so really appreciate it. So here we are back again with the fight on Sersi, almost down, just one SP2. This should be enough with the crazy damage to take Sersi out. So yeah, it's a slow fight, but it's a super safe one with Werewolf by Night. Now next up is going to be a kitty Pryde. So the first basic thing is you need a champion that is immune to Incinerate. The reason I say that is because if she applies Incinerate on you, that she can apply herself also, and she can also apply with the node Quick Spark. Now that is going to activate the node Hot and Bother. That would reduce your ability accuracy, and that's going to be a bit annoying to deal with because you won't be able to parry the opponent. So the first thing is to have champions that are immune to Incinerate. Now it would be better if you bring in Incinerate immune that are tech champions, because their tech champions get extra damage because of tech ascendancy. So I'm talking about champions like Jack-o'-lantern, champions like Ironheart. There's also Prowler. Prowler is like tailor-made for this fight. You can also use Arcade, Vulture. All of these champions can work super well. Now if you don't have tech champions, you can go for any other ones. So just for the sake of this video, I know this fight is taking a bit longer. I brought in a Void. I'm going to use a Void here to slowly show and tick down Cutie Pryde. Now absolute best counter for this fight is going to be Ironheart. You start with the pre-fight and you can apply those debuffs, and also when she has her trekking up, she cannot miss, so she's an absolute best counter for this. Prowler is also an amazing counter, so all of those champions can work out on this fight. So for me, just for the purpose of this video, I am showing you with regular old Void on this one, but just be careful about the unblockable after she uses a special, and you should be good. And almost down, last heavy attack from her. We're gonna end up with a speed 1. Boom, she's out. And the boss is going to be a Bahamet. Now he always takes a lot more time because he's a lot more setup. So first things first, never hit him twice in a block, otherwise he goes unstoppable. Now the whole thing about this fight is to gain removal charges first. How do you gain removal charges? If you look on the top right screen just below Bahamet's health bar, there is a cooldown. Now when that cooldown is about to be over, if you're near Bahamet, that will give him a volatility charge in yellow. If you're away from Bahamet, that will give him an unstable charge in red. Once you have 3 charges, he throws this radiation blast and you use a special attack in the blast that gives you a removal charge. Once you have the removal charge in phase 1, when you knock Bahamet down, he is going to have his celestial armor broken and you can deal damage. So the whole thing in the first phase is to bring him down to 80%, and then you can push him to phase 2. I know this was a very quick kind of a summary, but don't worry, I will show you step by step. So the thing about this fight is you push Bahamet to more than 3 volatility charges, and when he's going to throw a special right here, he's going to throw a radiation blast. You use a special attack in it, and that will give you removal charges. If you look on the top left, the green icon with the black inside. Now once you have the removal charges, in phase 2 and 3, you have to wait for Bahamet to throw a special attack again, and at the end of it, when he throws the radiation blast, you are going to either parry or use a heavy attack on it. I just evaded that for some reason. I didn't know what's wrong, so let's wait it out again. There we go. He's going to throw the blast, and I messed up again. I think I forgot here, but I came back to get the hold of the fight. But remember one more thing, it's better that you use champions that have Purify, because he's going to apply those incinerates on you and those are going to deal damage. So you need champions with either Purify or Shrug Off, or champions that are incinerate immune. So here you notice that I used my heavy attack to repel that radiation blast back on him, and that broke his armor. So that is the name of the game. So you break the armor and you deal the damage. So also you have to alternate your special attacks. If you don't alternate your special attacks, he's going to auto block you like this. So how do you know which special attack you used before? That is going to be the white icon below your health bar with a number on it. So here we are. I already have one more removal charge. I'm going to use my heavy. Messed it up again. I should be using a heavy there. So again, I'm going to just wait it out. Let him throw a special attack here. Come on now. There we go. And I'm going to hold my heavy already right here and wait for the blast. I'm going to release it, and look, the armor is broken. Now any damage I deal is going to be 100%, and the celestial armor is down. I think you have to push him down to 40%, for 40% to push him on to the next phase, that is going to be phase 3. And here we are in phase 3. Now this phase is 100% exactly the same as phase 2. You need to first throw a special in the radiation blast to gain your removal charges. But You have to take care of these orange radiation blasts that you just saw. You have to evade them, you cannot repel them back. So that is the only difference. So here he's going to throw a special attack, and then he's going to throw radiation blast. I'm going to use my special tactic between. Now I've got 3 removal charges. Now I'm going to push him again to a special attack. So now the blast he sends at me, if it's not a red radiation blast, I'm going to use my heavy attack to repel it back with the right timing. And there you go. I already have a lot of damage on him now, and he's armor broken. And during the armor break, he will not auto block you. So this is your in to go and deal some damage. Now remember, you are gonna gain 3 removal charges, so you don't have to gain them again and again. You should be good. So volatility charges are up there. Let's wait for another special attack. There's a radiation blast. Already I'm charging heavy. There we go. And just before we know it, he's gonna go down to 5%. I think 10%, and which the last phase number 4 starts. Now in phase number 4, you're going to gain a permanent removal charge. You don't have to gain it again with the special attack. Now if you get a heat radiation blast, you have to evade it. The whole goal is that when he does throw a special and a regular radiation blast on you, you have to parry it. Once you parry it, that's going to send the blast back to Bahamet, and then he will send it back to you as well. You have to send it back to him. So every time you play this mini game of a ping pong, you're going to reduce the potency of the celestial armor that you see underneath his health bar with the green that says 85. So here we are. Let's do this. Parry, 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 and I knock him down, and look at the potency of the armor. It's at 45 now. So we reduce 40 potency of this armor. So you have to do it once or twice, this mini game. You just have to make sure you parry at the right time and you send the blast back. And if you win this ping pong game, you're gonna bring the armor down to negative, at which point you can do any damage to him and kill him off. Remember to evade those heat charges, because those are going to deal damage to you. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Let's look for the last blast before we take him out. Alright, mate. Throw the SP1. There we go. And now parry, 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 parry. There we go. And with an SP2, we will take him out. So thank you for checking this out, guys. I'll be back for path number C, and stay tuned to the channel. And we will also do mini crucible number C and D later in the week as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, you found it helpful. Let me know in the comment section what did you use, and if you need any other questions and you need help with that. And thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye.